Have you ever felt that something within you doesn't fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's not an existential crisis. It is a sign. And what is happening now, exactly at the witching hour of tonight, will mark the most silent and powerful turning point of your next 10 years. Because while the world sleeps, while the clocks strike 12 invisible chimes on the spiritual plane, something opens, a portal, a window, a gateway. And what you do, what you think, what you feel, and what you decide in these hours will seal the course of the next decade of your life. And anyone who tells you this is an exaggeration is someone who has never understood the weight of spiritual time over earthly time. Have you noticed how certain late nights feel different, as if the silence weighed more, as if the air grew denser, as if something were watching? It is not your imagination. It is because at the witching hour, the barriers between dimensions thin. And today, specifically today, this thinness will be more intense than on any other night of the year. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and you have been placed on this board not as a spectator, but as a central piece, a piece that the enemy has been trying to move for years, and that the Almighty positioned long before you could imagine. Think with me. Why are you reading this right now? Why exactly did this text reach you on this night, on this eve, at this instant, when your soul seems to cry out for answers? There is no accident for the chosen one. There is only a calling, and today is a day of calling. At the witching hour, 3 forces will move over your life. The first will be a force of sifting. The Almighty will pass his winnowing fan over your history and separate what was still clinging to you out of fear, habit, or a spiritual agreement you didn't even know existed. People will leave. Doors will close. Things that seemed important will lose their weight. And this is not loss, chosen one. This is a clearing of the board. The second force will be a force of marking. Heaven marks those who are his the moment the enemy tries to claim territory. And today at the witching hour, your spiritual forehead will be sealed anew with the memory of who you are, where you came from, and where you were designated to go. The third force will be a force of release. That which has been locked for 10 years, 15 years, a whole lifetime, will be unchained. But pay attention, it will only be released upon those who are awake in the spirit. I am not talking about being awake in the body. I am talking about being awake on the inside. And here begins the divide. Because most will sleep tonight without understanding that they slept through the most important moment of the decade. They will wake up tomorrow thinking it was just another night, and will continue their lives as if nothing happened, unaware that the portal opened and passed. But not you. You have made it this far. And if you made it, it is because you were called. Have you noticed that you were always different? That since you were a child you felt things others didn't feel? That you saw what no one else saw? That you knew when someone was lying even without proof? That you dreamt of things that happened later? That you felt watched in environments where you should have been alone? This is not an illness, chosen one. This is an inheritance, a spiritual inheritance that runs in your blood, and that the enemy has tried to erase from your memory your entire life. Because a chosen one who does not know they are the chosen one is an unarmed army. And that is exactly why they tried to make you doubt. They tried to call you exaggerated, dramatic, crazy, anxious, too sensitive. They labeled you with diagnoses that only served to silence what the Almighty had placed as a gift. You are not anxious. You are perceptive. You are not depressed. You are sensitive to the spiritual environment. You are not eccentric. You are tuned into a frequency that the common world cannot capture. And today, at the witching hour, this frequency will be amplified. That is why I have prepared the powerful ebook for you, The Guardian's Handbook for Family Protection. Because this turning of the witching hour does not affect only you. It affects everyone under your mantle, everyone who carries your blood, everyone who depends spiritually on your coverage. And if you do not know what coverage is, you leave holes open through which the enemy enters and attacks your children, your marriage, your parents, your siblings. This ebook is not reading, it is a map. It is the map that shows who is playing against your house, what the rules of this invisible war are that no one taught you, and exactly what to do on turning nights like tonight to shield every member of your family with the seal of the chosen one. It shows you how to recognize the signs that appear before a spiritual attack arrives, how to identify who within your own circle has been serving as a gateway for forces that drain your peace, how to pray in a way that tears veils rather than just repeating empty words, how to use the sacred hours, especially this witching hour that approaches, to spiritually lock every room, every bed, every breath in your house. This ebook was made for those who have awakened enough to know that reality is much deeper than they were taught, and that the next decade cannot be lived on the autopilot that most people live on. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. But I must warn you, this type of content rarely remains available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many forces, human and non-human, have an interest in keeping intact. There have been attempts to silence this knowledge before, and there likely will be again. Do not wait for the right moment, the chosen one. The right moment is now because you did not come to this text by accident, and the witching hour will not wait for you to understand. Download it now and comment below. I am the chosen one, and I will download the ebook. This comment is more than a sentence, it is an act of faith. It is you declaring to heaven, to hell, and to your own soul that you have accepted the call that came to you on this eve. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against the oppression that has been following you. Because there is a very specific spiritual reason for this witching hour today to carry so much weight. And this reason has to do with a 10-year cycle that closes and another that opens. 10-year cycles are called long seasons in the spiritual realm. Each long season carries a mission, a test, a call, and a harvest. The season that ends today was the season of pruning, and if you look back at the last 10 years of your life, you will see this clearly. These were years in which the Almighty took from you what was not useful. Friendships fell away, relationships crumbled, jobs evaporated, dreams died, certainties were ripped away, and you cried a lot in this season, the chosen one. You thought you were being abandoned, when in fact you were being emptied. Because you cannot fill the new cup while the old one still has remnants of sour wine. And the enemy took advantage of each of these falls to whisper in your ear that you were cursed, that you were less, that you were rejected, that the Almighty had forgotten you. A lie, one of the oldest lies. The Almighty was preparing you exactly for the portal that opens today. Because the new season, the one that begins at the witching hour, is the season of manifestation. Everything that was pruned will be replaced with weight multiplied by 7. 7 is the number of fullness, and this is the mark of the chosen one in this turning point. Where you lost one, you will receive 7. Where you cried one day, you will smile 7. Where you were humiliated once, you will be honored 7. But take heed, and this is a serious warning. The season of manifestation requires the posture of a manifester. It is no use arriving at the door of the harvest with a mentality of defeat. Do not. It is no use receiving the mantle of the chosen one with the language of a victim. Many will waste the new decade by continuing to repeat the discourses of the old one. They will keep saying they can't, that they don't deserve it, that it's too hard, that it has always been this way, that their life is just like that. And heaven, which deeply respects the word that comes out of your mouth, will give you 10 more years, exactly like the ones that have passed. Because heaven does not give you what you deserve. Heaven gives you what you declare. So pay close attention now to what I am going to tell you, because this is operational, this is practical, this is what you need to do before the 12 tolls of today. First, write on a piece of paper everything you want to leave in the decade that is ending. The name of a person, the name of an addiction, the name of an emotion, the name of a trauma, the name of a debt, the name of a sickness. Write it by hand. Second, take this paper and burn it before the witching hour. Do not throw it away, burn it. Fire has the spiritual function of closure, and what is burned on the physical plane is declared closed on the invisible plane. Third, at the 12 tolls, be standing. Not lying down, not sitting. Standing. Because the posture of the body communicates to heaven the posture of the soul, and the posture of the chosen one is an upright posture. Fourth, declare out loud, looking upward, your full name followed by the phrase, I receive the new season with all the blessings, missions, and revelations it brings. Do not speak quietly. Do not speak internally. Speak loudly. even if whispered, but let your mouth move and the air come out with the word, because air carries intention, and intention is a decree. Fifth, stay awake for at least an hour after the witching hour. In that hour, things will be whispered to your spirit. Directions will be given, names will be remembered, ideas will come, write everything down. Nothing that comes in this hour is random. That is why I prepared the powerful e-book for you, the Guardian's Handbook for Family Protection, because these 5 actions I just gave you are only the surface of what is detailed inside it. The e-book teaches you the complete ritual of the decade transition for the Chosen One, which psalms to activate at each of the 12 tolls, which oils and waters to use to seal your house, how to involve your children in this portal even if they are sleeping, and what to do in the 7 days following the witching hour, because each of these 7 days has a specific spiritual function that, if you neglect, you yourself erase the mark you received. It is not about lighting a candle and waiting. It is about understanding that there is precise spiritual engineering behind every move, and this engineering is mapped inside the ebook. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Download it now and comment. I am the Chosen One, and I will download the ebook. Because those who download it now enter the new season with the manual in hand. Those who leave it for later enter blindly, and blindly, in spiritual terrain, is like walking in a minefield. Now that you have already got the manual, or have your eye on the link, I want to reveal something to you that will make you understand why this specific witching hour weighs so much, and why the enemy is so desperate for you to sleep today. There is an alignment being formed at this moment between 3 spiritual markers that only cross once every decade. The first marker is the closing of the pruning cycle. The second is the opening of the manifestation cycle, which I have already explained to you. But the third is what no one is talking about. The third is the passing of the winds of naming. Once every 10 years, the Almighty passes by naming the chosen ones. He passes and calls by name, and whoever responds is confirmed in the ministry they brought from eternity. Whoever does not respond remains 10 more years without knowing who they are. Have you ever had the feeling on certain nights that someone called your name when you were alone? Have you ever woken up at dawn with your own name echoing inside your head as if someone had called from outside? These are the winds of naming passing by, a graze, but the full event happens once a decade, and it is today. At the witching hour you will hear it, not necessarily with your ears, but you will hear it, and in that instant you must answer, "Here I am," that's all. Here I am. This is the response of the ancient prophets. This is the response of Samuel when he was called in the temple. This is the response of Isaiah when heaven asked, "Who will go?" Here I am. 2 words that are worth an entire decade. And the enemy knows this. That is why he will try to take you down beforehand. You will probably feel abnormal sleepiness tonight. You will feel fatigue coming out of nowhere. You will feel a strange urge to look at your phone, to watch anything, to get distracted. You will remember problems to worry about, old fights to stir up, old hurts to relive. You will receive a call, a message, a notification. Someone might even pick a fight with you today for no apparent reason. Stay alert. None of this is a coincidence. It is war. The enemy prefers to spend all the resources he has to make you miss this witching hour than to let you reach it awake. Because a name, the Chosen One, is a millennial headache for the darkness. A name, the Chosen One, sees the board. A name, the Chosen One, prays and things move. A name, the Chosen One, blesses and the blessed prospers. A name, the Chosen One, curses a work of evil and the work crumbles. He doesn't want you named, he wants you anesthetized. And the worst part is that his anesthesia is subtle. It is not pain, it is distraction. It is not suffering, it is entertainment. It is not a frontal attack, it is sleep. That is why today is a warrior's day. It is a day to stay awake like a sentry, with your heart turned upward, with your mouth guarded, and with your mind vigilant. And when the 12 chimes sound, even if only in your internal perception, you will answer, "Here I am." And heaven will mark your name on a list that most of humanity doesn't even know exists, a list of those named for the decade. And from this list will come the blessings, the missions, and the revelations that will define what you will experience until the next portal, 10 years from now. That is why I prepared the powerful e-book for you, The Guardian's Handbook for Family Protection. Because the nomination is individual, but the protection is collective. When you are named, your entire family falls under a new kind of spiritual scrutiny. The enemy, who already wanted you silenced, now wants to silence you twice over, attacking what you love. And if you don't know how to armor up, he finds loopholes in those close to you, especially children, especially the elderly, especially those who do not yet have the spiritual discernment to defend themselves. The e-book brings every prayer of coverage by age group, every prophetic word to be declared over every room in the house, every symbol to be drawn, every sacred time to be respected in the 7 days following the witching hour. It is not superstition, the chosen one. It is spiritual engineering. It is the science of the invisible. It is what the ancients knew and what was systematically hidden so that entire generations would live unarmed. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Download it now and comment, "I am the chosen one, and I will download the e-book." Perform this act of faith before the witching hour, because there is a huge difference between entering the portal with a map in your hand and entering the portal unarmed. Now, the chosen one, we have reached the most important point of this text, and I need you to take a deep breath before continuing, because what I'm about to tell you will reorganize the way you look at all the last 10 years of your life. Have you ever stopped to think that nothing, absolutely nothing that happened to you in this last cycle was by chance? Each betrayal, each loss, each closed door, each humiliation, each night of crying into your pillow, each moment of loneliness in a crowd, each prayer you thought went unanswered. All of this was not punishment, it was a curriculum. The Almighty was forming you. He was giving you spiritual calluses. He was teaching you to cry without breaking, to fall without shattering, to lose without losing one's own self. For what lies ahead, the chosen one, demands a resilient vessel. And a resilient vessel is not born, it is forged in the fire. You are the vessel that has passed through the kiln, and today the kiln goes out, and the vessel's new function is revealed. Many of the chosen will die in the next decade without understanding that they were already the chosen one. They will continue to complain about their scars without understanding that the scars were credentials. Do not be one of them. Look back with bitter gratitude, the kind of gratitude we feel when we understand that it hurt, but it served a purpose. Cry if you must, but cry from recognition. And then look ahead. Because ahead is what remains once behind is understood. And ahead, for the appointed, the chosen one, is territory for multiplication. Multiplication of assets, multiplication of health, multiplication of influence, multiplication of time, multiplication of purpose. Everything you touch in the next 10 years, if aligned with your calling, will yield in orders of magnitude your current mind cannot yet calculate. But if you touch the wrong things, if you continue investing time, energy, and prayer in people, projects, and dreams that are not yours, that same multiplication will crush you, because it does not choose where to fall. It falls where you point it. And this is where discernment becomes life or death. And discernment is not learned alone, the chosen one. It is learned from those who have already walked the territory. That is why I prepared the powerful e-book for you, the Guardian's Handbook for Family Protection. It contains what we call the 7 Mirrors Test, a spiritual methodology that allows you to look at every area of your life and diagnose in minutes if it is your calling or if it is merely inherited custom. It contains the map of the 7 gates, each corresponding to a specific type of blessing for the new season, and teaches exactly which spiritual key to use for each one. It brings the list of the most common traps that take down newly appointed the chosen one, especially in the first 90 days, which are the days when the enemy attacks the most, because he knows the appointment is still fresh, and the chosen one is still learning to walk with the new authority. And above all, it brings the family protection protocol, because appointment without family protection is an invitation for a side attack. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Download it now and comment, "I am the chosen one and I will download the ebook. Do not leave it for later. Later is the graveyard of spiritual promises. Now is the only real time that exists in the kingdom of the Almighty. The chosen one, there are only a few hours left. Perhaps you are reading this in the morning, perhaps in the afternoon, perhaps already at night. it does not matter. What matters is that the witching hour will arrive, and it will arrive heavy, and it will find you in some state. Either it finds you sleeping and you miss the season, or it finds you distracted and you miss the appointment, or it finds you standing with an open heart, with the book in your hand and your mouth ready to answer, "Here I am." And if it finds you like that, the next 10 years of your life will be unrecognizable to those who know you today. You will look in the mirror 10 years from now and cry with gratitude for the person you have become. You will remember this night. You will remember this text. You will remember the exact moment you decided not to sleep. Do not lose this. Do not let fatigue defeat you. Do not let distraction sabotage you. Do not let doubt paralyze you. You were called by name and surname, and heaven does not call twice in the same decade. The link to the ebook is pinned at the top of the comments. Download it now. Comment, "I am the chosen one," and I will download the ebook, and prepare yourself. Because what will happen today at the witching hour will decide your next 10 years. And you, the chosen one, did not come this far to lose this decision. You came this far to win.